Hello! In this video we're going to be looking at factorising quadratics that are specifically non-monic. So this is another higher tier topic only, so if you're doing foundation tier GCSE Maths then I would maybe encourage you to not watch this and focus your revision elsewhere. But if you are doing higher tier GCSE Maths, here we're going to be looking at factorising quadratics that are non-monic, so this may be useful to you. So the objective here is to factorise quadratics which are of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, but specifically in this case, a does not equal 1. So we don't have x squared, we have something like 2x squared or 3x squared. So some examples of some non-monic quadratics are 2x squared plus 7x plus 3, because the coefficient of x squared in this case is a 2. We could have 3x squared minus 8x minus 3, because the coefficient of x squared in this case is a 3. 4x squared plus 4x minus 15, the coefficient of x squared is a 4. And then 9x squared minus 36, the coefficient of x squared is a 9. So these are all examples of quadratics that are non-monic. So the method for factorising non-monic quadratics is a little bit more fiddly than monic quadratics, so it's a bit long-winded. The first step, we need to multiply a and c, and then we need to find two numbers that multiply to that result, and then they add to b. Then we need to split up the middle term into the sum of these two numbers that we've just found, and then we split it down the middle and factorise the two sides. So the final brackets then suddenly appear, but without doing an example, it's difficult to know what that actually means. So now we're going to do an example on how to factorise a non-monic quadratic. So as per the method, the first step is to multiply the a and the c terms. So in this case, we have a 2 and a 3. So step 1 is to do 2 times 3, which is 6. So the next step is to think of two numbers that multiply to this 6, and they need to add to the number in the middle. So the number in the middle in this case is 7. So two numbers that multiply to 6 and add to 7, I know, are 6 and 1. So 6 times 1 is 6 and 6 plus 1 is 7. So I've got my two numbers. So the next step is to write this 7x as the sum of the two numbers we have just found. So I'm going to write it as 2x squared, because that's the first term, that doesn't change. But then 7x I'm going to rewrite as 6x plus 1x. So the 6 and the 1 have come from the 6 and the 1 that I've just found over here. So 7x can now be written as 6x plus 1x, and then we still have that plus 3 on the end. So the next step is to split it down the middle and to factorise both halves of this expression. So we have 2x squared plus 6x. This can be factorised to 2x bracket x plus 3, because the highest common factor of 2x squared and 6x is 2x, and 2x times x plus 3 is 2x squared plus 6x. And then the other half, the highest common factor of 1x plus 3 is just 1. So this time I'm going to write a 1 outside the bracket and put x plus 3 to complete the factorisation. So the answer to the question has finally just appeared. So one of the brackets is going to be x plus 3, because x plus 3 is a common factor. And then if we take out the x plus 3, we're left with 2x plus 1, because the first term you multiply the x plus 3 by the 2x, and the second term you multiply the x plus 3 by the 1. So the final answer to this question is x plus 3 times 2x plus 1. Okay? So in this example, we have some negative terms, but that's fine. The method is still the same. So the first step is to multiply the a and the c term. So we're going to do 3 times minus 3, which is minus 9. The second step is to think of two numbers that multiply to minus 9 and add to this term in the middle. So in this case, it's minus 8. So two numbers that multiply to minus 9 and add to minus 8, they're going to be minus 9 and 1. So now what we're going to do is we're going to write the middle term as minus 9x plus 1x. So it's going to be 3x squared minus 9x plus 1x minus 3. Then we're going to split it down the middle, and we're going to factorise both halves. So 3x squared minus 9x has a common factor of 3x. So I can pull out the 3x, and it's going to be x minus 3. And then this half, the common factor is just 1 again. So I'm going to put plus 1, x minus 3. So the first bracket is x minus 3 because both of them have an x minus 3 term. And then the second bracket, what's left, is the 3x plus 1. So it's going to be 3x plus 1. Okay? And that is the answer to this question. So this next example, we have 4x squared minus 12x plus 5. So again, step 1 is the same. We're going to do 4 times 5, which is 20. And then we need to think of two numbers that multiply to 20 and add to make minus 12. So in this case, we could have minus 10 and minus 2. So we're going to write this as 4x squared minus 10x minus 2x plus 5. And then we're going to split it down the middle and factorise both halves. So 4x squared minus 10x, we could rewrite as 2x bracket 2x minus 5. And the minus 2x plus 5, we're going to write this as minus 1, because minus 1 is a factor of both of them, bracket 2x minus 5. And then we're going to rewrite the answer. So we've got a 2x minus 5 in both of them. So that's going to be one of the brackets. And then what's left is 2x minus 1, so that's going to be the other bracket. Again, we can double check our answers to these by expanding out using the FOIL method and showing that when we expand it, we get this answer here. One of the common questions when we do these is, does it matter the order which we write the minus 10x and the minus 2? So it doesn't, the answer is no. Alternatively, we could have written this as 4x squared minus 2x minus 10x plus 5, split it down the middle, and then we would have got 2x bracket 2x minus 1 minus 5 bracket 2x minus 1. So you can just see it just appears slightly differently. So it's 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 1 is the same answer as before. So this question here, so again, we're going to do the same method. So 5 times minus 2, so 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. Then we need to think of two numbers that multiply to minus 10 and add to minus 9. So in this case, it's going to be minus 10 and plus 1. So we're going to rewrite it as 5x squared minus 10x plus 1x minus 2. And then we're going to split it down the middle. And we're going to factorise both halves. So it's going to be 5x bracket x minus 2 plus 1 bracket x minus 2. And then we can see our answers appearing. So it's going to be x minus 2 times 5x plus 1. Okay. And this example here, the same thing. We're going to do 6 times minus 4. So 6 times minus 4 is minus 24. And then we need to think of two numbers that multiply to make minus 24 and add to make minus 5. So in this case, we could have minus 8 and 3. So we're going to rewrite it as 6x squared minus 8x plus 3x minus 4. And then we're going to split it down the middle and factorise both halves. So the left half, we know that 2x goes into both of those terms. So it's going to be 2x times 3x minus 4. And then it's going to be plus 1 times 3x minus 4, because 1 is the only number that goes into both 3x plus minus 4. And then again, we can see our answer appearing. So we've got 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 1, and that is our final answer. So here's a typical exam style question on this topic. So we could get asked to factorise 4x squared plus 13x plus 3, and that's worth 3 marks. So if you know the method, again, there's no reason why you shouldn't get these 3 marks. So step 1 is to multiply the first and the last coefficients by each other. So we've got 4 times 3, which is 12. Then we need to think of two numbers that multiply to make 12 and add to make 13. So in this case, I'm going to do 12 and 1. So then we're going to write it as 4x squared plus 12x plus 1x plus 3. Then we're going to split it down the middle. And then we're going to write it as 4x bracket x plus 3 plus 1 bracket x plus 3, so that's what you get when you factorise both halves. And then finally you can see the factors appear, so we end up with x plus 3 in one bracket and 4x plus 1 in the other bracket. So here are some quick fire practice questions on this topic. So pause the video if you want to have a go at these. I will reveal the answers in a short moment. So here are the answers to these questions. Well done if you managed to get them all correct. If not, maybe have a look back at this video to see where you've gone wrong. But yeah, that is everything for factorising non-monic quadratics. So thank you for watching. And next time we're going to be looking at the difference of two squares. Okay?